Today we're going to see who is your favorite supercar and luxury brand based on how many followers they have on social media. I am your host, Primo, and I am here to talk to you about supercars and luxury cars. I know it's an addiction. It is what I do. It is how I just do way too much research on things that probably really don't matter, but this is what I do, and I have a lot of fun doing it, so I hope you enjoy it. So what I did was I went to the big three, I call them: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I know everybody's saying, well, why don't you go to TikTok? Well, if your age group of the people viewing is too young to even drive a vehicle, I didn't count it. And the thing is, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube have the highest kind of ratings when it comes to websites and the biggest viewership. And they can also do the different platforms. So they can do shorts, they can do long form videos, they can do pictures, posts, articles, all that stuff. You can pretty much get any of it on Instagram and YouTube. I didn't want to spend a lot of time going to their websites and stuff like that and figuring it out that way, because a lot of that is measured on, hey, I'm in the market, you're doing research, you're going to go to their website. So I think a lot of that information is biased. When you see people that have signed up for a website, I am under the impression that they love that brand and want to see more from it, and maybe down the road. But regardless, I didn't follow, even if I bought a car that I was not a big fan of. I've owned a Cadillac in the past. I didn't follow Cadillac until not long ago. So that to me tells me that people who are viewing stuff, even if they can't afford it, are usually going to be the followers. And that's the thing is how well is your brand loved? It really does come down to that. And I think social media, even though it can be manipulated a little bit with marketing, I think it really is. It shows what you've put the work into. So let's take a look at it right now and see what we go. This is going to be from lowest to highest. And the first one is going to be the lowest luxury car, and that would be Genesis. They only got 607,900 for the views or for followers on their media. And I really am confused by this. A lot of people, I think, felt that Genesis, I think it was in the Hyundai shadow, if you will. So it kind of hurt them from that respect. But you have to understand that this brand does have good reliability now. And I really hope to see this number go up. Maybe it is what they said is it's a younger group and, it needs more time to flourish. The only thing I see a problem with them is the same thing with every luxury car, is the depreciation is horrendous. But as a driving car, it's one of those ones that I definitely drive until the wheels fell off, which is typical of that I want to say that niche of market, if you will. But yeah, hopefully move up in the future. The next one is the lowest EV, and that's Lucid. They only had 627,000 people that were viewing their followership. It just seemed like they really kind of didn't. They're one-sided marketing. Maybe they're newer. This one was kind of tough to read, and the EVs were all, other than Tesla, was really down on the list. So, well, hopefully Lucid moves up a little bit more, because I'd like to see them more in the Rolls-Royce territory. But anyway, for the lowest supercar, or super EV, if you will, we got Rimac, and they were at 794,000. I mean, these guys haven't even broke the 1 million mark. Again, somebody said this was because it was kind of new. Rimac's been around for a while, and also it basically runs Bugatti right now. I mean, all the design work that Bugatti puts into cars is done because Rimac is there and pretty much running the ship, if you will. I could be wrong on that. If you do, correct me in the comments, but I just think that they have a bigger hand in this than people think. But yeah, 794,000. Maybe they're just putting their eggs in another basket and, not really pushing it, which seemed to make sense. I did want to give a shout out here to Lotus. Lotus was down here at 1,204,000, and that just kind of seemed really low for me. I really liked Lotus as a supercar brand. They were kind of the non-EV ones. They were the lowest on the list, and that was kind of like that. I think that brand deserved a little bit more. Then we start getting into kind of the domestic areas of luxury. And then we kind of moved up from there with the Cadillac, which really kind of took off above anything else with 7,205,000. Cadillac has a lot of brand loyalty and has a long rich heritage, if you will. I still love the newer Cadillacs. I still like some of the stuff that they put out really has a different mindset. That kind of changed. I forgot what year it was. I think 2006, 2007. They really started to change things around a little bit. And the old Cadillacs that I was not a big fan of, like anything pre 70 I was in, but then after they kind of doing that in the CTSVs and that kind of thing, I think that really took off. And I think a lot of this was really at the forefront of social media, and it really picked up a lot. And I think that heritage that people follow, I think they still follow it. I think there's still a lot of Cadillac fan guys out there, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, the Lincolns and the Buicks, they were way down. Was it Lincoln had 2 million, Buick had 1 million too. They're not even in the runnings here. But as we move up here, we started getting through, like 19th was Alfa Romeo, 18th was Audi. The first kind of hypercar, if you will, was Pagani. I didn't really put them at the bottom. Where I'm at kind of took that kind of hypercar thing and made it the lowest, but Pagani's being in 17th is still pretty good. 6,764,000. So, with Koenigsegg being up next with 8,704,000, they're just above Cadillac. But the next place, it was 14th position, was the top when it came to what I call the Japanese or tuner style vehicles with Lexus with 9,859,000. Great following, no shocker there. It's one of those cars that's just well loved around the block, and it's one of those cars it's a luxury car you buy and drive till the wheels fall off. So it doesn't even shock me that that's in there. The top EV was Tesla, which was actually in 13th position. They finally got into the double digits on the millions with 12,546,000. That is actually a big move for them. They had never had very much traction before, and they really picked it up. And funny enough, on Facebook, they only have 276,000 views. It seems like most of their views are coming from Instagram and YouTube. So yeah, that's a big deal. 96 million here, or is it 9? Yeah, so close to 9 million in 20. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 2,670,000, and then 9 million for Instagram. So the other one was YouTube. All those numbers have really gone up since we've last looked at them. It's like hard to believe, but then we start getting into, like, McLaren was 12th place, Bentley 11th, Rolls-Royce 10th, Aston 9th. So for the premium, I was kind of shocked here. The premium luxury, I want to say kind of the uber luxury brands, were Jaguar with 33,357,000. Maserati was next with 20 million. So they really did crush it. And these are two numbers that kind of confuse me here, because Jaguar, I've been hearing that they didn't do as well normally, but they have a ton of followers. Then Maserati, who Stellantis is saying they're going to offload because it's not a marketable, not marketable, but a profitable brand. And then to be followed up with Rolls-Royce and Bentley right after with 15 million and then 14 million apiece. Like, something's wrong with that. Bentley has been doing their stuff predominantly talking about sustainability, which never works out in their favor. Rolls-Royce has been kind of pushing the Spectre. I think more that those brands could do is more with experiencing their vehicles. Aston Martin, again, a company that should be doing a lot better. They do very well with their SUVs. But yeah, then Maserati, like I said, people are talking about axing Maserati, and here it is, second from the top. So here's Jaguar at the top of the list here, and I don't know. I hope it's doing better. I haven't done it now at this. I feel like I have to do some more research, but you guys love Jaguar apparently, and you love Maserati. So there it is. But next up is, now remember, some people said Porsche. Porsche was next in the 5th position with 44 million followers on it. But I just see Porsche as a supercar brand just because it rides off the 911. I didn't really see it as, some people said, luxury. I didn't see that. Everybody calls the big three, if you will, Lambo, Ferrari, McLaren, which came in 12th. But that's the thing is I don't really see, I saw more of a Lambo, Ferrari, Porsche, which is the lineup that we got with Porsche with 44 million, Ferrari with 47 million, and Lamborghini with 51,860,000. So Lamborghini put in the top spot for supercars. That doesn't shock me at all. Lamborghini's support for advertising has been incredible. Ferrari really kind of features its racing heritage, and it does a little bit with its clothing stuff. But these two brands, especially while Porsche tries to hit everybody and kind of look at their older stuff, Lamborghini Ferrari basically has the two kinds of advertising: the people who are their buyers and the people who should be buying their stuff. So if you're a fan that likes to buy shirts and things of that nature, or video games, they are, involved. At least Lamborghini is on that front. And that really puts Lamborghini ahead because it continues to say yes to everything that pretty much comes across its table. While Ferrari kind of does that, but it doesn't focus so much on its cars as it does with its racing division. Now, I need to add a caveat that I'm seeing that change a lot. So Ferrari they may be coming for them. Maybe this 47 million is knocking on the door because it's a lot higher than the Porsche one. Maybe that's I think that would be a good move on their part. So in second place for full luxury was BMW, so 59,811,000. But number one place, which I don't think many people are going to be shocked, was Mercedes-Benz with 63,730,000. Mercedes-Benz, it's Mercedes, AMG, all the stuff that they have for advertising, all the stuff they do with hypercar. There's literally nothing that they don't follow. So that puts the German guys well ahead of the Italians. Very interesting to say that. I thought the Italians would have more of a run at them. But I think they did okay. Not bad. We're still up in the 63 million area. Now, one thing I think we should add here, obviously, who had the best platform? 2/3 of the platform guys out there using Instagram. I think this is a place where you can really grow. It looks as though a lot of them put emphasis into brands like YouTube, and they kind of flash in the pan thing. They don't dedicate a lot of time to it. BMW only had, 311,000 followers on YouTube, while YouTube for Mercedes was like 19 million. That's going to be a huge push. The other thing is experiencing cars. One thing that we see a lot with these brands is we just see constantly cars. And if you ever watch any kind of show out there, you'll know people want people. So I really think that brands like Mercedes could do, and I do see them changing it, featuring some of your drivers in race divisions, getting in your cars and taking spins in them and giving us input, and constantly doing that. Don't just kind of hit something and then leave it. Don't make it a metal object. I know that really works for guys, but it doesn't really work for the general public, I don't think. I think people want to see people, and I think that's hurt them overall. But that's not, 63 million is not bad, but I really think that these numbers could be a lot higher if these brands put more emphasis into it. And to me, these numbers were not very shocking. I do see a lot of this stuff the way it is, like Instagram being the leading of the pack, Facebook coming in second, YouTube coming in some places a dismal third. I do think it's places where we could see where here's your viewers, here's where they are. Let's do a little bit more content-oriented stuff, and I could see these numbers up. But you really start to see why people love a product and what they love it for. Ferrari, Porsche, I think, especially Mercedes, racing divisions are huge for these guys. They love racing, and a lot of these people don't do the racing stuff anymore. And it really did. I think it made a difference. I think that's why Rolls and Bentley are so far down the line, is because I think Bentley probably has its numbers where it's right next to McLaren. So here's where you guys can put a lot. McLaren, I think, puts too much emphasis on just their racing and not enough in other places. So here's your opportunity to tell, like Maybach in the day used to show you what it was like to go into a dealership and actually buy a car, to sit down with like Ferrari, Atelier, or Lamborghini Ad Personam and sit down, and this is what it's like to build a car. People don't even realize you've been able to do that with Porsche for a while now. Here's the opportunity to show people the differences in these cars and some of the price point differences and why they are the way they are. And things like European delivery never really pushed. Some guys are saying, what is that? It's in another video. We'll show it to you later. But yeah, all this stuff that I think that we saw here really does show some of this brand knowledge that a lot of people don't have. And I don't think these places realize that some people identify with their cars, and that's huge. So I hope to see some of this stuff move up. And if we don't, then it is what it is. And it was great to check it out and see where everybody stands. So where did you think? Put it in the comments. Where did your brand land when it all came about? Love to see it. If not, make sure you like and subscribe. If you liked everything here, hit the like button. Share this out. See what everybody else thinks. We'd love to see what everybody feels is their favorite brand and why. And if you thought this was a shocking list at all either. Until then, we'll see you next time. And we're going to get some other product, other discussion. But, that'll be for another video. We'll talk to you then.